Hello and welcome to another trip report and welcome to Milano Centrale, the central railway station of Milan in Italy. This is not the first time that I'm here for a video. This is the second time and there will be another video soon, or maybe I already uploaded. I don't know exactly in what order I will edit these videos and upload them. Anyway, in this video I will show you the railway station of Milan. From here on I will take a Frecciarossa train to Napoli via Rome. And some other big cities, so it's one of the high-speed trains you can find in Italy. I will tell you more about this in the video. I really hope you like this video. If you do so, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or if you just want to say hello, leave a comment. And if you like to see more train-related videos, subscribe to my channel. For now, let's roll the intro. Earlier that day, we took the Bernina Express from Chur in Switzerland to Tirano, just across the border in Italy, and from Tirano we took a local train to Milan. And here it is, Milano Centrale, one out of two main railway stations that are both terminal stations in the city of Milan. Before I discovered the railway station, I'll see what you can find around it and mainly focus on transportation. At the front of the railway station there's a bus stop and there's a tram stop. But you also find tram stops at both sides of the railway station. One great thing about Milan, of course, you find modern trams like this over here, but you also find these old Q trams. I really like them. And of course you also find lots of buses. Within the city, but also near the railway station, I saw this bike sharing program as well. The railway station of Milano Centrale is absolutely stunning. I just really love this railway station building. It's been inspired by Union Station in Washington DC. At the front you'll find an entrance to the metro, but I'll get back to the metro later on. For now, let's enter the railway station. And I mean, just look at this railway station building. I just really love it. This is really huge. At the front part where I'm at right now, you will find some shops and entrance to the metro and of course to the front of the railway station. I also saw the presence of a car rental company over here. I think there are more car rental companies within and around this railway station, but I only noticed one at the moment I did the recording. And from here on you find several entrances to the platforms. Well, that's obvious. If you move towards direction of the trains or the booking halls, you will find digital departure screens, as you can see here at the front. But first, let's go down to the metro. Of course you can queue up and buy your ticket at a vending machine, but you can also use your Visa or MasterCard as a public transport smart card. This is something that's more and more common in other countries as well. It just makes traveling by public transport a bit easier, because you don't need to buy a special smart card like you do need to buy in some countries. But time to move on to the railway station again. If you move from the front part towards direction of the platforms, but you stay at the ground level, you will get up in these halls. They look really amazing and you'll find several of them. And I do have to say, on camera it doesn't look as good as it looks in real. Changing trains here or starting or ending my journey at this railway station, I really don't mind. Due to its location close to the border with Switzerland, Milan is quite an important railway station for international railway journeys from and to Italy. From this railway station and the other terminal railway station of Milan, Milano Porto Garibaldi, there are trains to Switzerland, Austria, Germany and France. But of course there are more destinations as what I mentioned right now. However, these are the most common destinations. The border with Italy and neighboring countries is almost entirely surrounded by the Alps. Therefore, the points where trains can cross the border is relatively limited, but at the point where trains do cross the border, at least the main line trains, there are quite a lot of trains. If you stay at the ground level and you walk a little bit more direction to the platforms, you will end up at the booking offices, and at this spot you also find most vending machines for train tickets. This is being split up in three different companies, or basically two, but three different offices and vending machines. Italo, what is a commercial train operator, runs mainly high-speed trains. Trenitalia, what is a state-owned railway company of Italy. And Trenord, what is a subsidiary of Trenitalia, but is the local subsidiary that runs trains in the northern part of Italy, and these are mainly local trains. I also arrived with a local train of Tren North at this station, but there will be a video on that as well. Later on during this trip I also took an Italo high-speed train, so there will be a video about those trains as well, and in that video I will tell you a little bit more about those trains. Around this spot where you find the booking offices of these railway companies, there are some more shops. I do have to say, compared to the other part of the railway station where I just entered the railway station from, this is not the prettiest part. However, it's very functional and spacious, and directions throughout the railway station have been given very well. There's an escalator that will link the levels with each other over here. But of course, from the ground level at the front of the railway station, you can also go to the upper parts. And actually, this is the prettiest way to do so. Between the ground floor and the level where the trains do depart from, there's another level. At this point, you won't find that much services, except for some shops. So, time to move on to the level where the trains do depart from. By the way, you will find elevators as well within this railway station. There are not a whole lot of them and you need to look a little bit for them, but they are there. This is the level where the trains do depart from. And I have to say, this is one of the prettiest parts with the front of the railway station, at least according to me. From this point you find access to the lounges of both Trenitalia, the Freccia lounge, and Italo, the commercial railway company. And of course access to the platforms. But before I will go to the platform, I want to show you one more thing. If you go down to the side of the railway station, at the right hand side from if you leave the tracks, you will find this food court. There are lots of restaurants over here. I really like this place, and this is something you miss easily if you're just changing between the public transport from the city of Milan or if you just change trains. Of course, you will find some places where you can have a bite and a drink in other spots of this railway station as well, like here. But at the side, well, I just like it a little bit more. In general, you will find some good places where you can have a bite and a drink as well if you're close to the tracks. But there are some more, well, less good places over here as well. This spot over here, by the way, I really like this as well. It's called Milano Centrale. I really like this railway station and I like to show you all details, but then this video will take forever. So time to move on to the trains. And this is the part where you find access to the railway tracks. If you're going to the railway tracks in bigger railway stations in Italy, your ticket will be physically checked, or sometimes they will be using access gates before you can enter the platforms, and therefore you also find separate exits of the tracks. For some of the higher classes of the high-speed railway trains, you'll find special fast lanes, but my experience is that this always goes pretty smooth. You see this guy, by the way, giving a thumbs up because my ticket is good? You can also give a thumbs up on YouTube if you like this video. At the part of the railway station, well, after your tickets have been checked, there are some shops and places where you can buy food. And, most important, you find the railway tracks over here. By the way, this is an Italo high-speed train. I will also make a video on one of those. They run in general on the same routes as the Frecciarossa trains that I'll also be taking in this video. The track numbers where the trains do depart from will always show up pretty last minute, so a lot of people are just watching at these big screens, and at the moment the departure track is being published, a lot of people move all together into the same direction. At the beginning of the platform there's another small screen that will host the train number, departure time, final destination and the stops where these trains do call. At the platform you find smaller screens that will host what carriage number will be where at the platform, so you know where to stand. There are no composition screens. And this is my train coming in. It's a Frecciarossa Type 500 ETR. And these are the older type Frecciarossa trains you can find in Italy. The top speed is 360 km per hour, although in regular service the top speed will only be 300 km per hour. These trains do come in 4 different classes: standard class, premium class, business class and executive class. This counts for both these Frecciarossa trains and the newer Frecciarossa train. At the side of the train, close to the entrance doors, you will find digital departure screens that will host the route information, the train number and carriage number. And also the class has been written at the side of the train. It's also mentioned as standard, premium, business and executive. I will show you all different classes in these trains in a bit. If you're traveling on an Italian long distance train, your ticket is for a specific train. You cannot take other trains. This is because it always includes a seat reservation. If you're traveling with the use of an Interrail or Eurail pass, like we did on our trip, you're obligated to make a reservation and to pay a small surcharge for this. In general, this is not a problem in Italy, is my experience, and you can also do this via other railway companies. I booked my reservation via the Dutch state-owned railway company NS. Well, at least I bought it via a reseller, the Train Traveler. Within Italy you will find 5 different kinds of long distance trains, and the Freccia trains are the highest ranked trains. The Frecciarossa, that's the train I'll be taking today, is the fastest train of all. These trains will mainly use high-speed lines and, well, go between the bigger cities within Italy. The top speed in regular service is 300 km per hour. Right below that you find the Freccia Argento. These are also high-speed trains that will use both conventional railway lines and high-speed lines, and the top speed for these trains is 250 km per hour. For these trains you will find 3 different kinds of trains, and depending on the kind of rolling stock, there are between 2 and 3 classes on these trains. The lowest high-speed trains are the Freccia Bianca trains. These trains can go up to 200 km per hour, but will not use dedicated high-speed lines. I also do have a video on a Freccia Bianca train from Rome to Genova. That train is actually a tilting train, and because that is a tilting train, it can go on higher speeds on regular tracks. The specific train type you see here, I also do have a video on those trains, but then not as a Freccia Bianca but as an intercity train on the route La Spezia Milano. And if you can't find these videos on my channel yet, they will be there soon. Apart from these trains, you also find intercity trains within Italy. These only use conventional railway lines, and intercity notte trains, and these are basically night intercities, so sleeper trains. And apart from these, you also find Italo, what is a commercial railway company that will use mainly high-speed trains, but there will be a video about those trains as well. For now, it's time to board my train. Standard class, what is basically the equivalent of second class, comes in a 2x2 configuration. Most seats do face each other. This is typical for Italian trains. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of this, especially not when I'm traveling alone, but if I have a travel companion like I had on this trip, I really don't mind. The seats are comfortable and there are also some airline style seats, but there are not a whole lot of them. What I personally really like is that there's a bigger table between the seats, so this is ideal for if you want to work on a laptop, for example. You can fold these tables out to make them slightly bigger, and a power plug is integrated within these tables, so every seat has one power plug. There's lots of space for luggage in the overhead luggage racks, but also at the end of each compartment you will find luggage racks. Because most seats do face each other, there's some extra space for luggage between the back ends of some seats. Personally, I like to keep an eye on my luggage, and when I can't keep an eye on my luggage, I lock it just in case. I haven't got any bad experiences in trains and I like to keep it this way. A handle to recline the seats can be found right under the seats. The seats that do come in an airline style composition do have a footrest, a magazine rack, and you will find a tray table in the seat in front of you. A small garbage can be found at the side, and within these tray tables there's a cup holder. Power plugs can be found at the side over here. Throughout the train in all classes, but also within the dining car, you will find screens at the ceiling that will host route information. Below the overhead luggage racks you'll find a coat hanger, and all windows do have a sunscreen. At the doors between the compartments there will be icons presenting what facilities can be found where and also in what carriage number you are at that moment. Above the entrance door of each compartment the class has been written as well, and this is one class higher, the premium class. Just like second class, this comes in a 2x2 configuration and most seats do face each other. The seats are made out of leather and you will have more leg space over here. At the end of these compartments you find dedicated luggage racks, but like throughout all over the train, you can also use the overhead luggage racks. And because most seats do face each other, between the back ends of the seats you also find some space for luggage over here. If you're traveling with Interrail or Euro, by the way, and you have a first class Interrail or Euro pass, you will get a seat over here in this class. There's only one coach that does have premium class, by the way. Between the part of the train where you find the standard class and the premium class, and where you find the business class, you will find the dining car. It doesn't look like a nice place where you will have a nice dinner, just like you find in some other trains. But it looks pretty nice though, quite big. But I don't know about the menu, because it was closed at the moment I recorded this, due to COVID. Another thing, due to COVID, walking directions have been given very clear. This is mainly to prevent people from walking all into each other if you're at the railway station. And I think this is also very efficient, because boarding and leaving the train just goes a little bit smoother. Apart from that, free face masks, hand sanitizer and water was provided to all passengers within these trains. I think this is really good. I haven't got this experience on the Frecciarossa trains, by the way. I'm trying to make my videos as timeless as possible, but with these measures, well, it's hard to make them timeless. But I still want my videos to be helpful for you for if you make this trip in, let's say, 5 to 8 years from now. I recorded this in September 2021. These are the airline style seats in business class. You'll find a tray table with a seat in front of you, a footrest and a magazine rack, and a power plug can be found at the side. And just like all over the trains, you also find a sunscreen. Luggage racks are the same as everywhere else, and the seats can be reclined electric. Just like the standard and the premium class, in business class most seats do face each other. And at the end of these coaches you will find some airline style seats. Because this is a higher class, you will have more leg space, the seats are wider, and what I really like, here at the left you have some kind of compartments what give you a little bit more privacy. Within the business class there are also two real compartments, as you can see over here. They look really nice, although I do have to say the leg space doesn't seem that much, especially not if you're traveling with 4 people over here. But the seats, they're really comfortable. Apart from the different classes, you will also find different zones, like for example a silent area, as you can see here. At the other end of the train you will find the so-called executive class, and this is the highest class. It looks really nice, I have to say, and you don't have to worry about leg space over here. And over here you also find a special meeting room. This is really cool. I don't know how often this will be used, but I really like this idea. Of course, you will find several toilets within these trains. This is how the bigger toilets look like, that are also wheelchair accessible and you can turn into a nursery space for babies. They're, well, quite big as you may expect. And the other toilets look like this. There are quite a lot of these toilets. They're a bit smaller but pretty fine. Seat numbering within these trains is row number and then A, B, C, D. A is always a window seat, B and C always an aisle seat, and D always another window seat. So in business class there are some numbers missing. The row numbers will be displayed right under the luggage rack. Although the dining car was not available, a trolley service came by at the last part of the journey and free Wi-Fi is available. This also links your device to an onboard entertainment system. You need to download an app for this though. If you want to find out more about other railway stations where this train does call, or other trains in Italy or other countries, below the description of this video on YouTube you find a link to a map, and on this map you find all trip reports I did. Of course, I make new videos, so there will be more lines added to this. The lines do indicate the routes for the trains. The train and ferry icons do indicate the station and ferry terminal reviews. And if you want to be sure you don't miss any new trip reports, just subscribe to my channel. For now, I'll show you some views from the train on this route. Because it was dark at the last part of the journey, I couldn't film all the way to Napoli. But if you want to see the views between Rome and Napoli from the train, at least from the high-speed line, just check out the video I will make on the route from Napoli to Rome on the Italo high-speed train. Because this is a high-speed line, the views from the train are not really pretty. If you want to travel on this route and you want to have the pretty views, you should travel from Milan to Genova and from Genova take the conventional railway line to Rome. On the Rome-Napoli section there's also a conventional railway line, but I haven't traveled there, so I can't tell you how the views are from that route. Even though the views are not that pretty from the high-speed line, there are still some nice spots, and you will get really fast to your destination, and this is also worth a lot. On these routes, the train is just the most obvious way to travel. So we are already for 2 days in Napoli, and I just found out I didn't end the video here. So, hello from Milano Centrale. I hope you like this video. If you do so, give me a thumbs up on YouTube. And if you'd like to see more train related videos, subscribe to my channel. There will be another video on the train from Napoli to Rome. That will be on the Italo high-speed train, where I'll be featuring this railway station. And they also have a commuter rail train station really close to here that's more or less integrated, and I will feature that railway station in the video from Napoli to Pompeii, and that's actually the video I'm going to make right now. Anyway, I hope you liked it. If you do so, give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more train related videos, subscribe to my channel. Kisses, hugs, and goodbye. Before I really end the video, a comparison on the environmental impact if you're traveling by train, car and plane on this route. Obviously, trains will not clean the air, but the environmental impact if you're traveling by train is just way lower than any kind of other transportation. This graph shows the environmental impact on the route Milan-Napoli and Milan-Rome. I hope you like this video. If you do so, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more train related videos, subscribe to my channel. And if you want to leave a comment, feel free to do so. This all helps to grow the channel and to convince more people to travel on a sustainable way of transportation. If you want to support this channel financially, you can also find me on Patreon. It's patreon.com/Trainviking, and over there you can find out more. Thank you for watching and see you on my next video.